What's up, guys? Welcome back. Holy crap, Carth Onasi is good. He is really good. He's got a great leadership for your Old Republic teams. We have been asking for a leadership for Old Republic for quite a while, and when I first saw his kit, I tweeted out that I was pretty excited for him. I wanted to see what he could do, because his kit looks great on paper, and I'm happy to say it definitely translates to the real game as well. This is not one of those where we think it's good until we get to practice it in real life and find out it's terrible. Looking at you, Fulcrum Ahsoka. Now, for his kit, you have his basic attack, Rapid Shot, deals physical damage to a target enemy, inflicts a damage over time for 2 turns, deals 10% more damage for each damage over time effect on that enemy. Now, this has shades of Wampa with his Zeta, where he gains bonus offense for each dot on the enemy. You have it here with Carth, and you don't need a Zeta for it either. So that's great already. He's like another Wampa. You have his special, Just Keep Shooting, deals physical damage to all enemies, gain offense up for 2 turns, and for each critical hit attack, or for each critical hit this attack scores, he gains 15% turn meter. So great there. 4-turn cooldown, bit of a long cooldown, but he gets offense up, he gains a lot of turn meter, not too bad. Now his leadership, Soldier of the Old Republic, and this is where he really shines. Old Republic allies gain 30% potency, tenacity, and crit avoidance. Okay, not too bad. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a damage over time effect, all Old Republic allies recover 3% health and protection. Now, this is his Zeta on his leadership, and I'm going to say it right now, you have to have this Zeta. If you really want him to perform well, you're going to want this because it's really going to help keep your team alive. As we'll go into the footage, you'll see that without this Zeta, my team would have probably been destroyed. So you got to have this Zeta on him. And then here's the real special part of his leadership. When an Old Republic ally uses their basic attack or basic ability during their turn, they have an 80% chance to call another Old Republic ally to assist, dealing 50% less damage, limit of once per turn. So, gonna be a great leadership here. A lot of assists, a lot of damage over time effects with everybody, which we'll talk about that a little bit more, and a lot of healing. Then you have his unique, while attacking, he gains 10% bonus offense for each active enemy and each Old Republic ally. Whenever he defeats an enemy, he gains 10% crit chance and damage stacking, and the cooldown of Just Keep Shooting is reset. So, here's the thing. So, you're going to kill enemies, and then you don't have to worry about that 4-turn cooldown for Just Keep Shooting. And from what I can tell and what I've heard from other people, the stacking crit chance and crit damage here carries over between battles. So this is going to carry over into the raids. This is also going to carry over between different raid waves on encounters. So for territory battles, he'll keep stacking that crit chance and crit damage. And this pretty much means that he's going to gain a close to 100% crit chance really quickly. He's going to guarantee critical hits with Just Keep Shooting. It's going to give him a lot of bonus turn meter. He's going to get a lot of bonus damage with damage over time effects on his basic attack. This kit just works really well. It's I don't know what to say. It's just a really good kit. So enough of me blabbering there. Let's talk about the team and who you want to build around him to make him work really well. So when it comes to an Old Republic team for Carth to build around him, there's 3 characters you really need to use: Zalbar, Mission, and Canderous Ordo. And you guys may remember in my video when Canderous came out, I said that he wasn't really that good. I wasn't too impressed with him. I felt like there was something missing, that we were waiting on someone to come in that would make him good. Carth answers that. And now I remember with the damage over time effects, with the leadership here and the healing and the constant assists and everything, all 3 characters here can apply dots on their basic. Zalbar can apply dots on his basic here with Stalwart Ally. He can inflict 2 of them. He also has a Zeta here, Mission's Guard. You don't need this. It is recommended. It's really going to help keep Zalbar and Mission alive. And anybody who has a well-geared Zalbar will tell you, Zalbar is very hard to kill in the first place. Whenever someone falls below 100% health, he gains Taunt Retribution for 2 turns. So he's constantly going to counter, apply more dots, heal up your team. With Mission, you really need to get the Zeta here, because anytime that Zalbar does something, she can assist, but it's once per turn. So if he counters, she assists. If he gets called to assist with something, she can also assist there as well. So you can have the Carth leadership call Zalbar to assist, which then makes Mission assist as well. She has 80% bonus potency and inflicts damage over time effects for 2 turns whenever she uses an ability, and it can't be evaded. So she gains stacking potency until she inflicts a damage over time effect as well. And you can see with her, I'm running her at 202 speed, a lot of health and protection. But look at that, 3,500 bonus 3,500 physical damage, 75% crit chance. She has a very high base crit chance as well. So she's going to work great here. And if you look at her potency, she's already got a pretty high base potency. So she's running well over 100% base potency with that unique kicking in. So she's almost always going to be applying dots. Now we have Canderous. And oh man, I gotta tell you, Canderous is suddenly really good with this Carth leadership. His basic can apply Tenacity down if he attacks the character for the third time. And that's only if they have protection before he attacks. So he can inflict Tenacity down, which is going to be great for some of the teams he counters. His special can inflict the offense down and can ignore defense. And, you know, he gains the bonus health steal and potency for each Old Republic and Scoundrel ally. So Mission and Zalbar automatically going to give him 40% each. Carth's going to give him another 10%, and then anytime he deals damage, he inflicts a damage over time effect for 2 turns. So you can get 3 dots with his basic, you can apply dots to the entire enemy team with his special, pretty much just run him crit chance and crit damage. You can see here, 201 speed, his base potency is 0, but with his unique and with the leadership with Carth, that should be fine now. He could run close to 100% potency now with all of that. Now, for that 5th slot, there are some different characters you can use here, and my favorite has to be the one and the only Young Han Solo. If you have the Zeta on Young Han here, definitely a shoo-in for that 5th spot because of his unique Zeta, where anytime that a Scoundrel uses an attack during their turn and he has prepared, he has a 70% chance to assist. You have a lot of Scoundrels on this team already. He's going to be assisting a lot if you can get that prepared on him, and in the footage I show you, he doesn't do too well, but he ran into some pretty bad RNG. Now, another character that works great here is Wampa, because Wampa can apply a lot of dots on his basic, which, you know, means that he's going to go pretty quickly as well because of the bonus turn meter. And if you do have the Corner Beast Zeta on him, oh, watch out, because he is going to be gaining a lot of bonus damage for all those damage over time effects on the enemy. And as you guys will see in the footage, you hand out a lot of damage over time effects. So those characters work really well. Anyone else that can also apply a lot of dots here, like Darth Vader, also works really well because he could basically be a great medic for your team because you can use his AoE to apply a lot of dots to the enemy team, which then means a lot of healing for your team. So his AoE here turns him into a sort of like a medic role here, but also really does some nice damage because you're handing out so many dots anyways. His saber throw is going to do a lot of damage. So those 3 characters work great. You have the 4 characters you have to use with a very flexible 5th spot, but a word of warning before we go any further, if you're expecting this team to dominate the meta against Revan and Traya, you can go ahead and dash those hopes now. You cannot beat Traya and Revan. I have tried. It is not pretty. The Traya lead just destroys this team because the constant assisting will make your team lose so much health, and the dots and the healing back from the leadership, not going to cover it. So Traya doesn't work too well. Revan's too fast, he hits too hard, he can just tear through this team as well. So this is not by any means a meta team, but it does work well against some of those defensive teams that we see in the Territory Wars. So I'm going to show you guys both against a Bastila team and against a First Order team, and we'll go through them, and you guys can see just how well this team is going to be for your offensive mode for Territory Wars and eventually Grand Arena. So before we go into this battle, you guys often request the speeds, and I have them listed up here. And as you guys can see, both the Jedi and the First Order teams, they both really have the advantage here with speed. The Crew Lead gives 30 bonus speed to your First Order team. Bastila gives 15% Terminator at the start of the fight. And you can see for my team, Carth, you're wondering why he has 2 speeds listed. Well, for the Bastila team, I forgot to put mods on him. This is a bad habit of mine. So for that Bastila team, he's going to be fighting without any mods on him. And you can basically see that my Old Republic team really does not have the advantage when it comes to speed. But as we go through this footage, you'll see that that doesn't really matter in the long run because I can still keep up with these teams with the constant healing. But let's go ahead and get into this footage. Now, first up, we're going to have the Bastila team here. And of course, because of the Bastila lead, the law of turn meter on the Jedi, they're all pretty much going first. And they get pretty close to taking out Mission, but thankfully we have Zalbar to taunt. And you can see they're doing a pretty good job of taking it to my team. And of course, the big problem with your Bastila teams is that they gain a lot of bonus tenacity whenever they have the protection up, but because of Canderous Ordo here, he can put tenacity down on them, and he can start to put dots on the enemy team. That's going to help keep your team alive, help them heal back up, and you can see we're getting a lot of assists already. Mission's not doing a lot of damage right now, but that's against General Kenobi, and General Kenobi is usually pretty tanky. But you'll see that the damage will quickly ramp up on her, because whenever Zalbar takes damage, she gains bonus offense, and it's going to translate to her end up doing a lot of massive hits to this enemy team once things get going. You can see 30,000 on Grandmaster Yoda, and we are just getting started there. 11,000 non-crits, and still doing pretty good. We are slowly getting through the protection now, and now there's no protection up on General Kenobi, and now we can slowly chip away at him, and you'll see the dots are coming in. We're healing our characters back up, and with that, General Kenobi is dead, but now we have to focus on Jolee because of that Zeta Jolee, and you do not want him bringing Jedi back to life. And this is basically how you fight any Jedi team with a Zeta Jolee these days. You have to get rid of Jolee at any cost, but usually he's hiding behind a General Kenobi, and it's particularly tricky here with a Bastila team because you have all this bonus protection up, all these bonus tenacity. It helps prevent the dots, but much like you have with your Night Sisters and the Asajj Elite there, you basically just have to work your way through the protection up on these characters and slowly work your way through them and defeat these characters. And you can see we have a Jolee revive there with General Kenobi, but Jolee is just about dead, and we'll be able to go ahead and get through him without too much of a problem here. Now, thankfully, Jolee has a lot of bonus crit avoidance, so we're not going to land a lot of critical hits on him, but we can land a lot of dots, and you can see we got a daze on him. You get dazes from the basic on mission, so she helps prevent that counter, and now we just really start to have fun here. We'll go ahead, take out Grandmaster Yoda, and take out General Kenobi. If you can take out Yoda, the fight's pretty much over. They lose a lot of damage here if they don't have Grandmaster Yoda on the field. And if you remember with the speeds listed, Grandmaster Yoda is running 240 speed as it is. Originally, my Arena Charbonnet was going to run him at 280 speed, but felt that was a little too quick, so we toned him down to about 240 speed here. And with that, General Kenobi's dead, and you're noticing Zalbar's not taking a lot of damage even from Grandmaster Yoda, and that's because of the unique with Zalbar. Whenever he takes damage, he gains stacking defense, and in the long run, he just won't die. And with those constant healing back from the damage over time effects, and if you have that Zeta with Zalbar, he's going to have a very tough time dying. And with that, we have just Ezra left, and Ezra is gone. And then we had the First Order team. I actually had to slow this down a little bit because this match only took me about a minute to a minute and a half. It went by really quickly, so I want to slow it down for you guys so you guys can see what's going to happen here. And of course, the trick is going to be getting daze from Mission Val on the opposing team. Because of the Kylo Ren Unmasked lead, they can gain a lot of bonus turn meter when scoring critical hits, but if you can put that daze on them, that's really going to prevent their fast movements, going to help prevent them from moving a lot and countering a lot, because both Kylo Rens can do a lot of counters, and that could really mess up your team. But you can see that we're not doing a lot of damage with Canderous's hits, and I thought maybe getting him up to 7 stars in Gear 12 would help cure that, but against a tanky character like Kylo Ren Unmasked, still going to be a bit of a problem. You can see we're hitting him for maybe 4,000 to 5,000, but Kylo Ren Unmasked is healing back just as quickly. So I decided to switch my tactics, go for the other characters. I can't get to Kylo Ren Unmasked yet, but the way is paved for me to take care of some of these other characters. Taking out First Order Officer is going to be your first order of business, and then taking out First Order Executioner, because once you have those two characters dead, you can quickly take out Pilot. He won't be able to do any more damage, and that will pretty much be it for damage for this team. But you will still have problems with Kylo Ren, the masked Kylo Ren, but you'll see all you have to do is basically just kind of wait for him to use his AoE or use his moves, and then you can just go ahead and take him out really quickly. So he is a little bit tricky, especially if you get a lot of triple taps from Canderous, because he doesn't do a lot of damage on his basics. And once you do get all those attacks built up on Kylo, he can do a lot of damage with that AoE, and that's the problem. So if you can do something like offense down on him, which is not what I did there, but what you can do, get that offense down on him, help cut down on the bonus stacking offense he's going to get, and then you will go ahead and be able to take care of Kylo Ren. So you can see I lost Young Han there. He was pretty much stun locked, not a lot of good fortune for him there, but in the end, I still managed to prevail and win against this First Order team. So that's going to be pretty much it for this video, guys. We showed some footage there. They are pretty good against Bastila and First Order teams, two teams you will very commonly find on defense. Some other weaker defensive teams also will do great. I'm sure they'll also do well against Bounty Hunters because of those constant dots. You can really counter the Bossk lead with the Carth lead, and you can do a lot of damage with these teams. So with a B tier defense, not your Revan and Traya level A defense. Oh my god, no. Try this again. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Carth Onasi and the Old Republic, very solid for offense. You can easily take out those Bastila and First Order teams, but really, don't use them for those Traya and Revan walls. You won't have a good time. But for those weaker defensive teams you see in there, even boss scoundrels, you guys will be able to run right through them with an Old Republic team led by Carth. And you don't need them to be 7 stars Gear 12 either. If you are running a lower level guild, people who don't have a lot of Gear 12 7-star characters, you're still going to do great with this team. You don't have to be Gear 12 to make this team work. And that's the beauty of it. You really have to just get those dots out and let Mission and Zalbar carry things for you with their constant damage and the full assist from them and just everything here with the dots and everything. Zalbar and Mission, pretty much the MVP of this team. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you guys have enjoyed it, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys later.